Mark Wieber. He's going to be giving a presentation on how to tie up your boat. There's many ways to do it. There's several theories on the appropriate way to tie up your boat, as well as docking.
So yeah, so we're going to just do a basic, nothing complicated, how to get your boat in the slip and tie it up. And that's it.
What kind of boat you got?
Oh, it's a 1981 Monk 36, single engine trawler. It has a bow thruster, so we can cheat a little bit on docking, but so far it's been a really good boat for us.
What are we going to do first, Mike?
Okay, so first I just want to basic how to tie off on a cleat while we're still here at the dock. And then we'll go to the starboard side. We'll look at forward spring, aft spring, you know, and then we'll get on the boat and do a basic approach, show you how you basically approach the slip and get in and tie everything back up. So you'll get to see us untie, back out, and then later come back in and tie the boat back up.
Great. So can I show you how I see you have this down, but can I show you how I do it?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So I think it's, this look good, nice and tight, but I think it's pretty simple. Just to wrap it around. I don't have to worry about it. Anybody can tie up the boat for me. And then it's not going to go anywhere. Done. Simple.
Perfect. Perfect job. Okay, so for tying a cleat, this works great unless you're trying to be in a hurry to get untied from the dock, or you live somewhere where it might freeze, in which case that would be a kind of a problem to do. So what we recommend is you only really need a very simple and easier to unwind. So this part is absolutely correct, right? Because you don't want to be like this. You want to be where you're actually catching the boat with the horn. Do one wrap. So far so good, right? Mm-hmm. Go around the horn again, and then make your loop. And that's what it should look like when it's done. 1/2.
And that's going to hold the boat.
That's going to hold the boat. It will never come loose. The weight of the boat is pulling against the horn, and the tighter that you pull on this, the more it pulls this down and trap those other two ropes. So so your bow line is secure with just that. You can put extra loops on there if you want, but they're not really helping you.
Okay, so it's just a waste of time then.
It's just, yeah, pretty much a waste of time.
Okay.
Okay, this one I can't find that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, that'll do it. Now what I would do is, since we're coming back in and we're going to do one or the other stern line, I just loop that over so it's kind of ready for us when we're coming back. Okay?
And do you want Jennifer to grab the lines, or?
Maybe I'll have you do it.
Okay.
You want a boat pull?
Pardon me?
You want a boat pull, or you want to? Okay, so yeah, so. Okay, so.
And we're still attached at the boat.
Yeah. Seems like we don't have much wind, so.
The wind is in our favor today.
That should be good.
Is that the line?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Same thing?
Same thing, yeah. Just because we're going to be right back in, so we'll leave the fenders down. Just have these ready to go. Okay. All right, and then we'll take this one. Forward. You might want to give the boat a little push, because despite our almost zero wind moment. Okay. Okay.
We're just going inside the dock. Have a good day up there.
Okay, there we go. There is a little breeze.
Perfect, yeah.
There is a little breeze up here.
Good job, though. Perfect. So typically it's you and Jennifer, right? Just
Yep.
you two that take the boat in and out?
Yep. Which is why the bow thruster is very handy.
And is it so it's a bow thruster, you said?
Yes. So that just pushes the bow one way or the other as we need it to.
And which direction is the wind coming from?
Behind us, a little bit to port side. So now comes the tricky part of not backing up too far, but backing up enough. So I'm in neutral, and I'm just letting the boat coast back. So we just wait until we get to where I feel like forward is doable, and then spin the wheel and give us a little forward. Now, if I don't have a bow thruster, I need one more time backwards.
Okay.
So we go into reverse one more time, give it a little throttle in reverse, and then you know, that'll spin the bow around where we can.
So what's the most common mistake that you've seen people make, Mark?
The most common mistake: go too fast.
Go too fast.
Yeah, everybody wants to be in a hurry. There's no reason to be in a hurry, you know. If, like, for instance, if I didn't get quite, like, I felt that wasn't enough, there's a lot of time for me to go again.
Okay.
So we just nice and slow, you know, try to be in control, see where the boat goes. So now we're back in forward gear. So let's see, so we don't have a lot of time, right? So let's see if I can,
Are you gonna spin it around?
I'm gonna spin it around right where we're at.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let the bow get close to the...
And how long was it before you were comfortable with docking?
You mean how long will it be until I'm comfortable with docking?
So what you mean is you're always learning, right?
Yep. Okay, so I have a prop walk to starboard. So that means that I really should be doing this the other direction. So let's get back in forward gear. Okay. Yeah, they say you're only as good as your last docking. So it's like golf, yeah. You try to have your last docking be the best docking you can.
What I find is it's really important to know what the wind is and what the weather is going to be before you leave the dock and before you're coming in,
Yes.
so that you're prepared, right?
Yes. It's always good to look at what direction the wind is blowing, and also to kind of pay attention to what it's doing with the boat, because there can be, you know, there can be wild cards like a little bit of current going, which can affect your ability to have a good docking. But I think really the most important thing, like with your question about how long did it take me to get comfortable, you know, it's every docking is a whole new experience. The important thing is to not get in a hurry and not get excited. You know, don't panic. You got plenty of time.
So is there ever a time where you use Jennifer or your crew to help give you directions?
Yeah, quite often with, you know, the back of the boat. You know, where's the location of the back of the boat?
Right, that's hard to see.
And yeah, and the way that they'll do it is they'll call off feet.
Okay.
You know, like how close am I to the dock? Feet, 2 feet. You know. So, you know, coming down the fairway with a trawler or a sailboat, you want to be not so close to the starboard side where you're going to hit the boats, right? Mm-hmm. Or the far side from your slip, but you know, far enough that when you make the turn, the boat will be making the turn, you know, comfortably. The arc will be comfortably into your slip.
Okay. So which side would you like me to tend, port or starboard?
I think the port side is probably going to be the best for, you know, getting ready for the dock line.
Okay.
And we're going to want the stern port side dock line on first.
Stern port side dock line. Okay. Always want to repeat, so.
Yep. No, that's good.
Same page.
Okay, awesome. I'll bring the bow over. If you could get the bow line not too tight, as we discussed.
What did you tell me on this side, right?
Yep.
Is that correct?
That is, because the bow is going to be up a little more forward.
Giving you some slack.
Okay, so that's about where we want it. So lash that down and go to the other side.
You'll have to check me, make sure I did that correctly.
Okay. you got at least 20 wraps on there, right?
No, I learned. I'm a good listener.
Okay, so do I have to come down and get the line? I will. Jen?
Do you know any ropes?
Yeah, I do, but Geli on the bow.
On the boat?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
All right. Beauty. That's the way we like it.
So
Well, my first approach, where I would have intended to just come in on that first approach, I was a little wide, so I had to back up and then come in from the other side. So if ideally, and I don't want that, but it's the whole thing we were talking about the most important thing when you're docking is go slow, be confident, and be able to adjust to wind, current, things that happen, without panicking and ramping up the throttle. And so so we adjusted a little bit, worked out okay. And communicate, right. So
if you don't mind, I'd like to have you help me with my boat later on this afternoon while the winds are calm.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
There's the movie star.
Hey, Mark,
Am I here? Oh, wait. Okay.
Beautiful hat.
I have my hat
Nice
on.
hat.
So
Thanks.
the camera adds about 50 pounds, right, Wayne?
There you go.
Hey, Mark, thanks for giving us that lesson on docking and how to tie up your boat correctly. Can you give us a little background about yourself?
Yeah, I've played around with boats since I was young. We've always had some kind of boat, even if it was just a rowboat on a lake. I pretty much have a good time on anything from a canoe to, the biggest boat I can drive, which so far is about 50 feet. But we've had a 36-foot Catalina, which we loved, by the way. Still think that's probably the best bay boat for San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, great boat.
We really loved our Catalina. And we traded it for a Slocum 43 because we're looking for a more adjustable sail plan and a heavier cruiser to go offshore. So we could go down to the Channel Islands and up and down the coast. And then when my dad was my primary crew, got a little shaky as a foredeck, we modified the boat first. We put an autopilot, we put roller furling, but pretty soon he couldn't stand to watch. So then we bought a 380 Sundancer, and that is no more 18 hours to Monterey. Now it's 5.5, 6 hours to Monterey. Don't really need a crew. So we tried a few other boats. As you saw, our latest boat is breathing life into that 81 Monk trawler. Got my captain's license about 4 years ago. I like doing deliveries and pretty much any excuse to get on the water, even a video about tying up boats.
All right.
Yeah, and I understand you went out after that video, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you go out after that video?
Oh, yeah, we went out on the bay. My wife and I went out and checked out the anchorages and watched the sailboat get run out of Ayala Cove at Angel Island. All the moorings are closed there, and all of the you can't go on the docks. It appears that the new gathering place is China Cove, which is just around the corner on the east side of Angel Island, and there was a ton of boats anchored there, and also a ton of boats in Clipper Cove. The fun part about that was Saturday. The fun part about being out there Saturday that doesn't usually happen is we saw a whale. I've seen plenty of whales up and down the coast, but a lot of time on the bay, and I've only ever seen a whale in the bay one other time.
Wow.
From my boat when I was out there, just, right off the starboard bow, just amazing. And we also saw several dolphins in on the east side of Angel Island, which is kind of strange. Usually we see those little dolphins, working the current under the gate, but seldom I don't usually see them that far in the bay. So it's like the wildlife is kind of making a little comeback, given its opportunity now with less people out there and less activity.
Right.
while
Well,
everyone's shutting their
they
house.
weren't complying with the stay-at-home provision.
I wasn't complying. Well, I
No,
don't know.
not you, the whale.
There's some gray area there, right? My house has a kitchen. I mean, my boat has a kitchen and 2 heads and 2 staterooms.
No, you were complying. It was the whale, that darn whale.
Oh, the whale wasn't compliant. Yeah, he was a little close. I don't know how to complain about that, though. I thought it was great.
So, Mark, what's the best advice that you could give to a new boat owner when they're learning to handle the boat for the first time? Docking, as you said in the video, is the most challenging, like being out there in the bay. It's once you're out there, you're out there. So what's some advice that you can give these new boaters?
I think that it's easy to get confident with driving the boat in open water. And where new boaters usually have the most trepidation is, coming in and out of the docks. And so, depending on the size of the boat and what your skill level is, I think getting a captain on board to show you how to operate it can really save you a lot of time and effort. As an example, I had sailboats most of my life. And when we bought the 380 Sundancer, it's a planing hull. No keel, little tiny rudders. And so, when I made my approach as I had normally learned how to do in the sailboat, the Sundancer just skidded sideways. I was able to turn the boat no problem, but the boat didn't go the direction the bow was facing. And so I was very frustrated with that, because to me, if I hit the dock, that's a failed docking. So I don't want to use the dock to bump my way in. I want to get the boat in the dock without hitting anything. And so I went and got Captain Paul Records, who was a good powerboat guy, to show me how to drive the damn twin engine boat so that I could get it in the slip. And once he showed me how to do it, it was so easy. Clearly I waited way too long to ask somebody, because I felt like I'm pretty confident, boater. I got a lot of experience. I should know how to do this. I should be able to ferret this out. And I probably would have over, a greater length of time, but Paul was able to show me in a matter of time that, it just took us one time out, couple approaches, showed me backing, showed me going in forward, tried a couple of different, things that I wanted to see how he did it. And that just jumped me right up to where I wanted to be. So, whatever your boating experience, if you have trepidation about how to get the boat into the dock, get a captain out there, pay the, whatever the cost to get him out there, to show you how to drive the boat you've bought correctly into the slip. And, it'll probably only take you a couple of times to feel like you're really proficient. And that will save you a lot of hull waxing, a lot of embarrassment. So that my number one piece of advice to new boat owners is, don't be embarrassed to get a captain. And there's no how do you call it, onus? There's no negative thing about getting a captain to show you how to do it right. And then my second thing is, don't panic. Don't go slow, be confident. I like to always look for a window, as if my initial approach to the docking doesn't work, do I have an escape? But then I want to be confident in bringing the boat in and not too tentative, because if you're too tentative, the wind or the current or whatever can take over, and then that will get you into more trouble than you were in. So don't be afraid to get a captain, make confident, deliberate moves, and don't panic. Just go slow and be deliberate.
I think that's great advice, Mark. I know when I bought my Grand Banks 42 about 5 years ago. And once I figured out the docking, asked for help, actually, Wayne had to come to my rescue once because I was a little too confident ahead of time. But definitely you're correct. Ask for help. Don't be bashful. Don't be ashamed. And slow down when you're stressed.
Yeah. So the sayings are, right, approaching the dock is like approaching the woman in a bar. Very seldom is a slow approach a poor approach.
I just learned something new today.
The other saying is, don't approach the dock any faster than you're willing to hit it. My mentor gave me this piece of advice. He said, if you do screw up and you're going to hit the dock, don't put it in reverse and rev the engine up to maximum, because you'll still hit the dock and everybody around you will be watching.
That's great advice. Well, thank you, Mark. I really appreciate your time and being part of the panel. I hope all the viewers found that valuable. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And again, like Mark said, if you're learning, don't hesitate to hire a captain, and we can help you find a captain as well.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Hey, everybody. We're at the end of the day of the first day of the virtual boat show for Atomic Tuna and Fairlawn Yachts. And if you're still with us, we really appreciate it. If you're not, we appreciate that too. And we got 3 more days of this. So tomorrow, we're going to start out with a showing on the Beneteau 35, really sweet boat. We're going to have a women's panel with 5 or 6 women that are proficient sailors and boaters, and that'll be a really interesting panel tomorrow. And then we're going to do the Tiana 48 walkthrough and the Fibercraft, which is it's kind of a pilot house motor yacht. And then we're going to do a nice talk on why Catalinas are better. So don't miss that one. I mean, if you're really thinking about a new boat or even buying one of the used Catalinas, you should watch this. And then you won't have a question whether you want to buy a Catalina. And then we'll go right from that into Catalina 425 tour, 2018 425 that we have. And then we're going to have a panel with some mechanics on maintaining your boat. We'll have some good stories from those guys. And we're going to have the quiz again. That was kind of fun today. Maybe we'll extend it a little bit tomorrow. And then Bruce Nelson from West Marine fame over in Sausalito, and also one of our sales guys, he's going to give a talk on new electronics and batteries. So tune in for that one. And then Gary Clausen from Twin Rivers is going to talk about insurance for boats and what you need to know and what they require. So that'll be a fun talk. We have weather routing from Eva Tanner. She's been doing that for, I don't know, last 10 years or something up and down the West Coast. So you should learn something there. And our last one tomorrow is going to be a virtual party with Latitude 38. And they're going to be giving away some prizes. And also they're going to have a few little talks also, maybe with Max Ebb and a few other people. So yeah, full day tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you, and it's a wrap. Hope you all have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.